Okay. So, Gold Mercy on Blizzard World. One of the first things your teammate says they've got Widow. So I'm glad to see you kind of hanging on this right side, you know, behind this little overcropping, because that's going to protect you from most of Widow's shots. Don't go, okay, go for the res, but you're going to die. Okay, so I started to say don't go for the res. And the reason I started to say that was because you were going to die. It was super obvious, and this is actually something that a lot of like gold mercies do, and mercies right around that SR. You should know you're gonna die here, okay? Why? Is because we can see their team. So here's our Ryan, here's our Bastion, both dead. Both are really the only two heroes on our team that are really gonna hold the enemy back, gonna stop them from pushing. From there, their Ryan is here, Genji is here, Zarya is here, so they're all super close. I mean, only a few steps from where our Bastion died. So if we go for this res on our Bastion, they're all going to see us fly over there. They want to kill us. Mercy's super important to most teams. And so it's just so clear that they're going to be kind of watching us, watching his body, if they have any sort of skill or game sense at all. And so when we go for this res, we should die. Like, they should kill us. The fact that that Ryan left you alone is crazy on his part, but his teammates still responded to you and killed you right away. So all you did is make your Bastion respawn later and stopped yourself from getting a res that your team may have needed. So you got to be paying kind of close attention to that. I must have missed something. You got to be paying kind of close attention to that. Because that's like the last thing we want. Our res is super cool, great utility, definitely a good way to help us climb if we can use it well, and it's a good way to help us fall if we use it bad. Because instead of getting a nice res off that maybe turns the fight, you killed your healer and made your DPS respawn later. General rule of thumb for you, not that you don't know, always damage boost unless you're healing. There's no reason to ever idly heal. And so like here, you're still healing your Bastion while he's at full health. You got a damage boost. Damage boost should be your first thought. Heal should be your second thought most of the time. And again, like right there, it was only for like a second, but everyone was full health and you were healing. A lot of mercies do this. They start on healing and then they switch to damage when they think that they need to, like how you flew to your Bastion on healing here. That's exactly what most mercies do. They start on healing and then they switch to damage boost. It should be the opposite. It should be always be damage boosting and then switch to healing when it's needed.
Shit.
And something I will always say is gotta make sure we're hitting tab more, okay? Because like we know they have a Widow. They called Widow. Our team called Widow. We've seen shots from Widow. We've seen Widow in the kill feed. But what if this fight right here, that Widow switched to Junkrat? That really changes the way you play. That changes what you can do as Mercy. That changes where you can stand. Changes how close you need to be to cover. I did that. Widow literally switched to Junkrat. That is crazy. Okay. Weird. I'm just surprised. But but think about stuff like that and hit tab. It's so simple. Just hit tab every like 15 seconds. You can see what your enemy's running. It changes the way you play. You can see exactly what else your teammates have, how close your teammates are. What's even good is that you can you know, take a look at your enemy's ults, kind of think about what they have, because if they have grab, you might play like further back or away from your Bastion or something if you know they're going to grab him. I'm glad to see that you stopped going the same direction as Yana. When there's a Junkrat tire, your supports cannot be together. That's like no 101.
I can't cross to get you, McCree.
Come on, caster. Alright.
Alright, your Mercy's gonna be dead.
Coming.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't know how you lived.
I'm just gonna back up.
You may want to look at even some of the like YouTube videos, like common texts for Mercy. They're usually called texts. There is like certain keys that you could have pressed right there to where you actually could have like flew past your Ryan's body, and that may have saved your life there.
No shatter. Gotta push up a little bit. Getting them too much.
Dude, I can't shatter them right now.
May's
Or
up
maybe I
behind.
can.
May, up behind.
They're all shattered, guys. Come on. Woo!
One of the other things that I would notice, and this is kind of just like general, you know, I like to try and keep my tips appropriate for like you're in gold. Like I don't want to give you the same tips that I would give like a grandmaster. Same way I don't want to give you even the same tips that I would give a silver. Like you guys just clearly play a little bit different. But one thing that I would notice that's been going on here is that your Ryan has been dying a lot. You have 3 DPS, and so it can be really nice to pocket them because you can have so much damage. 3 DPS and then like a damage boosted Bastion as well. That's crazy damage. But your Ryan, because you have 3 DPS instead of 2 tanks, has kind of been getting bullied. And so if I were you, I would be keeping a little bit of a closer eye on my Ryan to try and make sure that I can keep his health topped off, try and make sure that he's not, you know, maybe getting into risky situations. If I see someone flanking him, I can call it for him.
I can't get to you, I can't see you.
Your DPS, because you have 3 of them, they just probably don't need you quite as much as your Ryan does.
There we go. Nice. Thank you. They're pushing, they're pushing.
Again, same thing. You're passively healing. So, passively damage boost. Everyone's full health. Nice. Your Ryan played that well. Damage boost. He's full health.
Shattered.
Gotta passively damage boost, not passively heal. That's big. And it's such an easy thing you can do that'll increase your level of play. It'll charge your ult faster, it'll charge your teammates' ults faster, it'll kill your enemies faster, which leads to them having less ults. It's fantastic to make sure you are, like, heal, stop healing him. You're healing him right here. Stop. He's full. He doesn't need you. Right here. He's full. He's full. He's full. He's full. He punched that Mercy. If you were damage boosting, probably would have killed that Mercy. And even if he didn't, you would have gained ult charge off the damage he did. You're healing a full health Bastion. Who's shooting? Damage boost him. Damage boost him. Damage boost him.
I have no shield right now.
So this is something super common that happens in gold and plat and diamond especially. So did you hear what happened here? We can turn the volume up to make sure you can hear it.
I have no shield right now.
You heard May ult and you ulted. Everything's good.
I have no shield right now.
May ult, you're ult. Super common, especially like I said in gold, plat, diamond. You don't even know where May ult is. Maybe you're in May ult, so your ult is going to be wasted. Maybe no member of your team is in May ult. Maybe she threw it off the map, and so then your ult is going to be wasted. It's so common for like a gold zenyatta, like a grab happens and they're like immediately transcendence, even though that Zarya might have thrown that grab as she was dying and no one is in any danger. And that's kind of what happened here. You hear a male and so you throw your ult, but it's gonna end up a bit wasted because of that. You weren't able to help the Bastion who was in the male because it was too far away, but you didn't know that. And then here, everyone's full health, not even fighting. Your transcendence is about half, little bit over half. Now that it actually, or I called it your transcendence, your guardian angel, Valkyrie. It's called your Valkyrie. Gosh, your Valkyrie is about half now that the fight is starting. So you wasted half your Valkyrie, and you're damage boosting your Ryan while he's swinging on all these shattered people. Or you're healing your Ryan. Please damage boost him here, please. He's full health. Got a damage boost.
Maze behind. Maze behind. There you go.
Push up. Jump tire.
I can't see you, Ryan.
It's a good call. It's really good to let anyone know when they're out of your line of sight.
Older.
Ah, they boot me off. They boot me off.
It's alright. I have my hand in a sec.
There it
Oh,
goes.
we go.
Somber's here. Moira, where? Alright, I'm gonna hit speed boost now.
So here, your team
I
got
don't have heals. I'm hacked. I'm hacked.
destroyed. So you need to be calling out, retreat, speeding out, get out, fall back, whatever you can call. But you guys are just going to feed ults if you guys stay in that fight at all.
On the Bastion.
I see. There was nothing wrong with Lucio there. It was one fight, but I see why you're going Mercy, especially if you're more comfortable on Mercy.
Sombra isn't anything.
You saw you have a critical health ally right behind you. Why won't you heal him?
Come on,
Stick
push
together
up.
and I can stun her.
Stick together.
Basically, that last fight, as soon as you guys lost your Moira, you probably should have pulled out because you got to understand that Lucio alone is usually not going to be enough heals.
Got her.
You're purple Bastion.
He's purple. Why are you healing him?
No shield right now.
You're healing a full health target. Gotta think about it. Passively damage boost,
Soft.
actively heal.
Right here, right here. All the healer over here.
Got it.
Nice. Ah, rip. Fuck out of here. Oh, Sombra in the back.
Need healing. I hit.
I don't have. Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it.
Got the Ash. He's one.
Let's go, let's go. I'm on the left side.
Up, up, up.
Got him. You got it.
Hey, she doesn't have shotgun.
I'm gonna sit on
She has
payload.
nothing. She's just shooting. Maybe we should back up, Or
Okay. I mean, so that was fine there. There was nothing crazy on either side. It was a far longer fight than it needed to be. Just because some ults were popped and stuff, but everything was chill.
we're good. We're good. We're good.
Get the run.
So now would be like a good time to ult, yeah, because it's 5-5, and so when you're in a situation like that, it can be a really good time to throw your ult, because your enemies aren't always going to be expecting you to ult, because they might think you're going to save it, you know, for a 6-6, or they might not know you have it quite yet, or in a 5-5 they may think it's just like cleanup kills, but 5-5s can be some of the best times to ult.
Ah, not quite.
Unlucky. Again, I would try and look up some of the mercy techs. Like, they totally exist. I think right here is simple. All you could have done was like hold space and you would have flown past your McCree, so you actually would have lived. Instead, do you see how you kind of stopped at the McCree?
You guys here?
I'm gonna go back.
Looking up those techs and then practicing them, like even in the training range or practice range, can make you a whole new player, because you'll have new ways to escape, new ways to get in and out of
Purple, Ryan.
fights.
You're purple.
Mercy has some awesome movement
We got some behind, we
abilities
got
if you know
both
how to
behind.
use them.
Junkrat's on the right.
Yeah, that's it. That's lost. Yeah, we were.
Keeps on neck.
Got you. Got you. Got you.
Got jump.
Fucking weak.
Alright.
Think someone's on top.
Sounds like a diva.
Watch out for the Junkrat in front.
Diva's up top.
You're healing a full health.
Front above.
I got the shield. I got it. Alright, no shield.
I'm fucked.
Okay, yeah, all that happened there is you had just flown out of your cover when he ulted. Kind of unlucky, but also kind of a lesson to maybe think about staying behind cover a little bit more. I definitely hope you got some good tips out of here. Make sure you're damage boosting more. Make sure you're kind of thinking about when you're throwing your ult, so that you're not throwing it too early or just off of reflexes or whatever it is. Make sure it's actually got a purpose, and then make sure your reses are actually safe and have a purpose. And then learn the mercy techs. Definitely take a look at those and you'll be a whole new player.